Hello, welcome to Pikecreekfarm. The sun's bright here, sorry. It's hot out and I was out in the garden and walking in the yard and we had our kids here this weekend, and so you know how you get like in the funk, so I'm trying to cheer myself up because I always feel that way, it seems like, when the kids leave. The bummer was it rained all day yesterday, so we couldn't do half the things we wanted, like farmer's market and bonfire last night, but that's okay. Natasha and I finished a 1,000-piece puzzle in one day. So I'm gonna bring some sunshine and some summer into my afternoon. This is the strawberry lemonade concentrate that I made. And I'm just gonna add it into a glass with water and with just regular glass with ice and some regular water. Just simple. You can do it 50-50 mix. You can do less if you want it to be a little lighter flavor. But I think I need some sunshine. There's some of the pulp is on the lid, so I want to get that goodness down in here. Oh man, does that smell good. So I'm gonna pour about that much in. There was a lot of ice in the bottom there. And then top it off with some water. Stir it up. Isn't that pretty? I just think nature's amazing. This is just, you know, the pure color of, you know, the strawberries and the lemon. Oh my gosh, that's really good. It could maybe be a little tartar, but because it depends on the mood for the day. It has Michigan strawberries, and they're really very, very sweet. My fingernails are all discolored from picking cherries. I have a black cherry, chocolate black cherry jam syrup video coming up. I want it more for ice cream and to go on cakes and stuff. So I did that yesterday, and that video will be coming up. I'll show you some of the things I made for dinner this past week, like I said I would. With the holiday in there, it was things like it was hot too, so it was really hot, like in the 90s, so I made like a macaroni salad, and that was for a few days actually, because we weren't as hungry and it was nice and cold. I made some brats, but I made enough for that was like, 2 days, so I made steak and that did for 2 days. Didn't have a lot of variety, but thankfully my husband likes leftovers, so I'm gonna go drink my strawberry lemonade, and you can see what else I did this past week. The week really started for me on Tuesday, July 4th, just the way it worked out. And the first thing I made was a macaroni salad. I had boiled the noodles and added frozen peas on Monday. So then Tuesday, I just had to add everything. I put a little bit of Italian dressing on, and then I chopped up some celery. I like crunch in my macaroni salad. And then I did green onions. I had a bunch of green onions that I had bought, so instead of regular onion, I used green onion. And it's not quite as sharp of an onion flavor, and it's a little brighter colored, so I did that. And I have some family members that prefer green onion over regular onion. I added some salt, some pepper, some garlic, and then it was time to add the tuna. I decided to do tuna macaroni like my mom used to make. So 2 cans of tuna that I drained, and then I stirred that all up, trying to figure out if it's the right proportion. And then I added in some dollops of mayonnaise. I just eyeball it. It's no exact science. And then I added some dill seasoning that I have. It's called Big Dill. And here I am giving it a taste. You know, everything has to sit for a while and the flavors mix, but I wanted to make sure I added some pickle juice, chopped up some chunks of cheese in it. Mom didn't always do that, but I do like the cheese in it. It gives it a pop of color, plus it's good flavor. So I chopped up about half of a block of cheese into little dices. I prefer it diced than shredded. Added some more seasoning and some more cheese. It was a huge bowl, and it just kept growing with everything I added, but I was trying to make sure it was all proportionate. So I even added another onion because the onion flavor wasn't strong enough for me. And then I used the red pepper that I had in the crisper, and I used not the whole thing, part of it. And I diced that up small to give a pop of color. I like the color that red pepper can give to a dish. And then it adds crunch also. So carefully trying to get it all mixed up and incorporated because it was a big bowl. Then I added just a spoon of pickle relish, my homemade Mrs. Wage's pickle relish, and doing a taste test here. And it's good to go. So the next day I cooked steak, venison steak that I had marinated in soy sauce, Italian dressing, and barbecue sauce. And I marinated that and cooked up enough for 2 nights. So it was quite a bit, but it was so tender. It was venison backstraps, and they're just amazing. So one night we had the backstraps with baked potatoes, and the second night we had it with leftover macaroni salad. So we had 2 great dinners from the backstraps, and there was even some left over for lunch. Then I made Crockpot Brats. I did them a little different this time. I had some sauerkraut that I put in the bottom. I put some dehydrated peppers and onions and a spoon of, actually it was like 3 spoons of brown sugar. Then I put venison brats, and they were frozen. And I put them on there. And I added some beer. And I did this all before I was on my way to work. Added some garlic. Added a little bit of oil because the venison's dry. Not dry, but you know, it doesn't have a lot of extra fat in it at all. And then I had a red onion that I sliced up to go on top. And it was the only onion I had in the house. So, but it turned out really good actually. I wasn't sure because usually I would use a yellow onion. But I used a red onion and sliced that on top. And then I added another spoon of sugar on top there. And then I put the rest of the red pepper from the other night, and I took a little bit more of beer and added around the edge to make sure there was enough juice because there won't be a lot of grease coming out of those brats. And here is how it looked when I came home, and they were very tender and flavorful, and Jim was happy to eat them for 2 nights in a row. No problem, no complaints. And in fact, he even had it for lunch too, so they ended up being a really nice dinner. And I didn't have a bun with mine. I had the macaroni salad and then just the sauerkraut and the peppers and the onions. And it was a very good dinner. So I told you it was a pretty simple week, but everything was really good. And that macaroni salad just kept growing. My hat's crooked. They just kept growing and growing. And so for next week, the kids were up and I took out chicken and I started thawing it, and then they all left earlier. I thought they would be here for dinner. So we have leftovers from yesterday. I made venison burgers. I didn't film that when the kids were here. I just did venison burger, and there's a couple left over. And the Contrate chicken, which I did a video, there's a little bit of that left over. And we have the bonfire stuff for what we never got to do, the hot dogs and stuff. So I'll leave it up to Jim to decide if he wants leftovers tonight or save that stuff for lunch and then have the bonfire stuff. And if we do the bonfire, I'm going to put some zucchini and summer squash into a foil and cook them out there. But I took out chicken. So chicken is on the menu for this week. I'm going to do some shake and bake, and then we'll make chicken salad from leftovers, or I'll take it on my salads for lunch. So I know I have that planned, and spaghetti. That was the other thing I was going to make, possibly. But venison burgers won out, so I'll probably do some spaghetti if it doesn't get too hot. I don't like spaghetti when it's like hot. So I'll have to check the weather. If not, I'll do a stir fry. But I'll let you know what I'm doing, and I'll keep track of those and show you how I do it. So cheers. Have a great Sunday, and it might be Monday when you see this. Have a great day, though, and enjoy the coming week. And thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned to Pike Creek Farm for more videos on canning and vintage recipes and gardening. Not that I'm any great gardener, but stay tuned. See you next time at Pike Creek Farm.